Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel Wontom Beast. It's me Farham Washir, and today we'll be showing you how we can read files in Python. So how do we do it? So over here you can see that I have a text file where it says Siberian tiger, Royal Bengal tiger, a South China tiger, and a Malayan tiger, and there are breeds of tiger in this tiger.txt file. Alright, now how do we read this file using Python? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our youtube.py and we're gonna run in some codes to read our tiger.txt file. But before we read our tiger.txt file, you have to understand that our tiger file should be situated where our YouTube file is situated. Alright, first of all, I'm gonna show you guys how you can read the files that are situated in the place where your YouTube file is saved. In a sense, you can see over here your YouTube file is over here, and over here is the tiger file. So both of them are situated in the same path. Alright, but I'm going to also show you how you can read files that are not in the same path of your Python file. So first of all, let's show you the basics of how to read a file in Python. So what we're gonna do is gonna open a file. You can see over here it shows that open a file, mode, buffering, encoding, errors, bulletins. So we are gonna open a file, because without opening a file we cannot read it, right? So we're gonna open a file, and we're gonna write open, and what's our file name? It's tiger, right? So we're just gonna put open and close commas or parentheses in our brackets, and then we're gonna write in tiger, and you can see automatically we have a suggestion over here, because Python Python is really clever. It understands clearly that with file we are trying to search. So as it's a notepad, it's gonna be saved as tiger.txt. Alright, so here is our file tiger.txt, and then what we're gonna do is gonna give a comma. We're gonna write in another open and close commas, and we're gonna give a R. Alright, R means read. We can have also more functions over here, which is W, which means write. We can also have append, which means we can add, like, let me just let you go through it. When we type in R, which means that we can read the file only, like we want to read our file. If we write W, which means write, alright, so we can write in our file, alright. And then we have append, which means that we cannot write or read anything in our file, but we can add something to our file. And then we have R plus, which means we can read and write both in our file. So over here we're just doing the read function. So basically over here we're opening up this file, and then what we're going to do is also we'll need to close this file. Alright, but before closing this file, how do we specify the Python program to close it? So before we move on to this, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna set this thing inside of a variable. So let's say tiger breeds, alright, and then I'm just gonna put an equal. So I'm gonna put this open code inside of a variable, alright, and then I'm just gonna click on enter, and now we have opened our file, but we also have to close it. So we want the Python program to open it and then also close it. Alright, so just simply we're just gonna write tiger dash breeds dot, sorry, this should be breeds dot close and a open and close parentheses. Right. Now we want to execute this file, like we want to print this file, right? We want to print this file to read this file, right? But before we want to, like, yeah, of course we're gonna type in print, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna type in tiger dash breeds. Alright, we're gonna type in the variable, and then we're gonna type in read. Alright, but you know, this read function is gonna help us to, you know, read our file. But before we know that whether our file is readable or not, we need to check, right, that whether our file is readable or not. So we're just gonna simply, after read, we're gonna type in readable, which means our Python is gonna give us a boolean value of true or false, that whether our file is readable or not. So let's get started. I just run it. Yeah, you can see over here it gives out the output as true, right? I'll just run it again for you to be clear about it. So our tiger file is readable. Alright, so yeah, as it's readable, now we are gonna read it. How we're gonna do it? Simply we're just gonna write tiger-breeds.read, and we are just gonna run this file, and you can see all the breeds of all these tigers came down straight in our console, right? All the names down here. Alright, so there are more ways of how you can actually read files in Python. So there are one more way known as the read lines, and when you put it, like, first of all let me show you with read line. So what happens is, when we put in this simple code, we'll be able to read the first line, like we'll be able to read every single, like any line that we want actually. So like, let's say if we click on run, it's gonna give us the first name of the list. You can see over here in our tiger file we have Siberian tiger as our first name, as like in our first line, right? So if I just copy this thing out, and if I just paste it again over here, it's gonna type in the second tiger's name. Just like that, if I just again paste it, it's gonna give the third tiger's name. If we again paste it, right, it's gonna give the fourth tiger's name, like the fourth tiger in our list's name. Alright, so this is one way we can read a particular line in a file using Python, but there is a much better way, which is we are just gonna give an read lines in our Python file. So when we type in read lines, you know, you're gonna see that all of the name of the tigers that we are given in our tiger.txt file all comes out in a list. Alright, in a list of names. So Siberian tiger falls into the index of 1. Sorry, my bad. 0. Siberian tiger falls in the index number of 0. Royal Bengal tiger falls in the index number of 1. South China tiger falls in the index number of 2. This Malayan tiger goes in 3, and Indo-Chinese in 4, and the Sumatran in 5. Right? So if you have done lists before, you should know that. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna execute this Royal Bengal tiger file. Like, I want to read the second line of the file, because look, Royal Bengal tiger is in the second line, so it came out into the second place, right? So as we know, this is the index 0 and this is the index 1, so we want the output of the Royal Bengal tiger only, which means it is the line 2. but as it consists of the index 1, we're just gonna type in 1, read lines, and there's open and close square brackets, and then 1. You see Royal Bengal tiger gets printed. Also we can try with -1 or minus, let's say -2. In the Chinese tiger is in our -2 position, if we know. Also we can try with 3. It's Malayan tiger. If we write 0, it's Siberian tiger. It's just like that. Also what we can do is we can read our file using a for loop function. Alright, so basically I'm just gonna go up and I'm gonna type in for tigers, let's give it a name, in tiger breeds, and actually we're gonna tiger breeds, and then what we're going to do is over here we have written in, we're just gonna cut this thing out. Alright, and we're gonna write over here tiger breeds dot read lines. Alright, like we can make our for loop function do anything. We can read lines, we can write readable. Alright, so we want to read the lines, and then just click on let's give it a colon. Alright, and let's just move our print function to where it should be in. Alright, and now we're just gonna type in the tigers, the name of the for loop function, or the index that we're giving it. You can see it comes out one by one over here. Also what you can do is you can just keep over here read, and you can simply read this file in you can read this file in name by name way. Well, we don't want that obviously, so we're just gonna write in read lines. Alright, you can do many things with this file, but of course we don't want it in this way, so we're gonna be wanting it in this way. So we're just gonna write it read lines. But if you want it to be like with no gap, then I would prefer you to do it in with only the print statement. Don't use the for loop statement. Alright, now what would you do to how would you read the files those are outside of the Python path of your youtube.py? Like we have the tiger in the path, our youtube.py is also saved. That's why we don't need to type in any external codes to access it. What if we had a file stored in our desktop? Alright, so let's say it was stored in, let's make it a new folder, and let's give it a name. Let's say lion, let's give it a double N, and let's open it, and let's just put in something new known as lion breeds. Alright, and I'm just gonna open it, and let me just type in anything that is in over here. Alright, so this is what we have wrote inside of our lion file over here. We're just gonna save it. So if you open it, we get this output obviously. Well, you can try this out also in your Mac and Linux. Just do it in your own way. So over here we know that the name of our folder is lion, but you don't need to worry about that. What you're going to do is click on this, right click on this file, and just go to the properties, and over here see the location of your file, and just copy it out. And what we're gonna need to do, I'm just gonna cut this off, and I'm just gonna paste the location. Alright, so now we're just gonna give another slash, and it's a forward slash, and we're gonna write in, over here is it lionbreeds.txt. Now if you are in a Windows operating system, this code will not work, because in Windows operating system we'll need to create a backslash in these positions that we have. Alright, over here as well, we create a backslash to run the file in Windows. But if you have a Linux operating system or a Mac OS operator, so this, this is the one you want to use. Alright, this is the one you want to use, not this one. Alright, this is only for Windows. This slash, which is the backslash, is only for Windows, but this / is for Linux and Mac OSs. Alright, so if you have a Linux, you'll have Linux or Mac, you're just gonna give the /. Alright, don't make it the backward slashes on every slash that you're gonna give. Alright, and always remember, after you have copied out the file's location, give a slash. If you are in Windows, give out a backslash. If you are in Mac or Linux, give out a /. Alright, so let's go on. So as I'm in my Windows at this moment, I'm just gonna use this backslash, but remember, you should use / if you're in your Mac OS or in your Linux. So we're just gonna, over here we just have a problem. Do we? I don't think so. Let me just make it lion breeds if it becomes easier for you to understand. And let me just write over here lion breeds. It'll be easier for you to understand. And also we're just gonna change this to lion breeds. Alright, so let's also write over here lions. Let's run this. Also, we're just gonna have to change this thing. Right, now let's run this program. We simply got our line of the file over here. Now always remember, you cannot just run this file without typing in the error, or I beg your pardon, it should be typing in the path location that is outside of your path location. Alright, so every time you want to read a file outside of your the location path of your Python file, always paste it inside of one string. Alright, like the full location of that file. So that's all from me today, guys. I hope you like this video, and if you surely do, don't forget to subscribe to our channels and like this video. Also, don't forget to check out our NGO in the description box below. Well, it's not my personal NGO, but I really support NGOs, and this is a very great NGO, so they're gonna need your support. So follow them up in their social accounts, and if you also don't go out to give them some money to support the people out there, at least show them some responses on their NGO's social media sites, because we need every single NGO out there who has started new to grow big, and they're gonna need your help. So go out there and check them out. Also, we have more Python tutorials in the description box below. Don't forget to check them out. They're great, and I'm sure you're gonna love them. And if you have any questions, don't forget to email me on my email addresses, or you can DM me on my social media sites. I'll be present out there for you guys. Also, if you want more videos to come on Python tutorials, let me know in the description box below. Let me know in the comment section down below. So I think that's all from me. See you next time, people.